some things are bigger than others. If you aspire to build the world's largest cruise ship, the recipe is a tall order. You need steel, lots of it. You cut the metal sheets into jigsaw puzzle pieces, and you'd better not lose track of them, because sooner or later you will weld them together again. You end up with huge pieces that you will try to assemble like gargantuan Lego blocks.
Quite frankly, I think from an engineering perspective, the limits are a long way off.
6 engines will deliver 100,000 horsepower of thrust to the propellers.
This is the one that's going to make sure that we do our cruising speed. 22 knots is what you promised, right?
Correct.
Add bow thrusters to aid in the handling of the gigantic ship, 339 meters long. Finally, you must find the skilled workers to do the job for you. 27 months later, you will end up with the ultimate cruise ship, a ship like nothing that has ever come before it. How big is she, the world's largest cruise ship? Compared to Titanic, she is gigantic, and she can match the world's biggest aircraft carrier, the Nimitz. Her length rivals the Empire State Building in New York and the Eiffel Tower in Paris. Everything about her is enormous. 5,500 square meters of carpets, 5,800 square meters of windows, 2.7 million liters of water produced a day, and add to that 35 tons of ice cubes. Back at the shipyard in Turku, Finland, the work to build the ship is well underway.
Oikomaan sinne pikkuhiljaa.
Ei ole päällä, menee ihan hyvin.
This is a shipbuilder's idea of a motorhome, 4 decks high and several hundred tons of steel. Initially, the large blocks are stored around the shipyard, awaiting the day they will be lifted on board. A total of 168 prefabricated blocks will make up the Freedom of the Seas. Some are larger, some are smaller. Their journey from a raw steel plate to an intricate part of the world's largest cruise ship starts here. But how do they keep track of all the parts? After all, they are creating a gigantic jigsaw puzzle. The key to the entire process is to keep track of the 352,000 pieces that will make up the final ship. At the production office, a sophisticated computer program is used to track every piece of the ship and to take them from blueprint to finished vessel. The more accurately the pieces are placed on the raw steel plates, the less steel is wasted. 32,000 tons of high-quality steel is needed for the ship. And the computer will now take over. Like a giant cookie cutter, it will extract the pieces out of the steel.
So what is the situation you're cutting?
And because of the high temperature, it all happens underwater.
Flame temperature of the flame, when it's cut the plate, is more than 10,000 degrees Celsius.
An electrical arc ionizes a gas that is shot at the steel plate at a speed of 22,000 kilometers an hour. It blows straight through the steel plate and leaves a clean cut. It's critical that each cut piece is clearly marked so that everyone knows where it goes on the ship. It's like an assembly line. Support beam after support beam are linked to walls and pillars. In fact, the deck blocks are assembled upside down, and at this stage, it's hard to guess which part they will be in the final ship. But this is a restaurant to be. And this, of course, is the bridge, the world's widest. And the future workspace for Captain Bill Wright, who has arrived in Finland to meet with the shipyard to discuss the project.
Good morning, gentlemen. Let's see. I brought some drawings, as always.
Building a vessel, if you think a vessel, it's like a small town. This will carry over 5,000 people. It's one of the most, must be one of the most interested things in the world.
It's give and take. The yard obviously has comfort in the reference ship design because they've done it before. Whereas whenever we want to make changes or modifications to that basic design, that introduces new elements to the yard, perhaps a certain amount of risk that the yard's very, very aware of. So it's a balancing act, and of course everything's doable and everything has its price.
We very seldom say no. We say that let's see what we can do.
Well, why don't we get right to business? I wanted to talk about some of the things on my favorite place, the bridge. And I've got a little bit of...
The ship is a work in progress. Many small details will be adjusted to accommodate all the dreams and needs. The support blocks in the dry dock are prepared to receive a new section of keel. They must be adjusted for optimum support, and the tolerance is within a millimeter. Modern keel laying is a lot different compared to the old days. Precision is key, and the yard workers must carefully place each keel element. The Traverse crane operator has it all in his hands. With delicate joystick movements, he will position the 400-ton piece of steel in exactly the right place. Still an inch to go. And some of the blocks must be adjusted to give support where it is needed. Beams aimed at the measuring points will confirm when the block is in its final position. Once in place, the shipyard workers quickly weld the new piece to the growing hull. The welding process must be done with utmost care. One faulty welding joint among 1,000 miles of joints can jeopardize the ship's integrity and pose a safety risk. The joint must be kept clean and often be preheated to avoid metal stress before it is finally joined with another section. And all the equipment belonging to one deck must be in place before the next deck covers it up. This is the engine room. And one of the 6 diesel-electric engines is brought in place. Weeks later, it is time to fit one of the aft keel sections in place. A tough job when temperatures plummet well below freezing during the Finnish winter. The future crew of Freedom of the Seas has come to Florida to prepare for their duties by using a ship simulator.
Here at the Star Center, we have the capability of replicating any type of environmental situation the crew could encounter on the high seas, such as 3 meters of waves, 40 knots of wind, and we can also put the ship in over 150 different ports all throughout the world.
Oh, this is the real thing. This is everything here, with the exception that we're actually more handicapped in the simulator. The simulator is more difficult than the ship in real life, and that's a good thing. We would hate to have a good experience here in the simulator and then get on board and find out, wow, the ship is a lot different, a lot more difficult to handle. So typically it's always the opposite. The simulator is more difficult.
20 meters off the berth, starboard.
20 off the starboard.
Bill Wright will be the ship's first captain, and Miami will be its future home port. To dock the ship here means taking her into an inner basin and turning her 180 degrees with very little room to spare. This is a maneuver the crew needs to prepare for.
So what we're going to do is we're going to do a conventional approach. Carlos, if you wouldn't mind being the pilot. So you'll con the ship conventionally. Okay, let's rock and roll.
Richard. 208. 308.
For all intents and purposes, they are sailing a 160,000-ton ship, making the best use they can of 3 main propellers and 4 powerful bow thrusters for sideways
Clear
movements.
beacon 50, thank you.
It's intense, even though they are sailing in nice weather with no wind. They all know real-life situations can be much different.
69 and steady.
And steady.
69 steady. So we are setting down to port. Four knots. Okay, 4.5, send your lines ashore. Very good.
First platform, yep.
Okay, I think we can stop it there. Let's change things a little bit. I want to do a DP exercise. So we've been starting fairly close to the turning basin. Let's pull the ship out towards the jetties. Yeah, that looks good. And let's put in some challenging environmental conditions, northeasterly. That'll be a beam wind. Let's say 25 knots sustained, gusting 40. So that should be a handful.
Okay.
New York.
And we're all set whenever they're ready.
Okay. The captain, on the bridge, we've set the environmentals for this exercise. We're going to try and push it to the limit here to see what this ship can do.
And again, the only thing the joystick...
The captain has ordered a dynamic positioning exercise where the ship is handled using only a joystick connected to instruments for satellite navigation and where winds and currents will be computed for incredibly accurate positioning.
Taking off that, give her a kick, and off we go. Okay, now through this whole maneuver, if I'm looking up at our position indicator from the reference system, we're 60 centimeters, 6 decimeters from where we started. So much. Pretty amazing.
Fantastic. That's amazing.
Here we can afford to make mistakes, and we want to make the mistakes here at Star Center and not out on the high seas.
Back in Finland, the staterooms and cabins are prefabricated in a factory an hour away from the shipyard. They will come completed down to the very last detail. Cables. A total of 35,000 kilometers of cables are prepared for the ship, enough to span the distance between Stockholm and Rome. This is a high-tech ship with wireless internet, cable TV, and telephones. Add to this the basic electricity and cables for operating the ship, and the amount of connectors and plugs used reach unfathomable numbers. And the staterooms are prepared so they only need to be plugged into the ship. More than 1,800 staterooms are wrapped up. At this stage, it is hard to believe this is the living space for someone's future luxury cruise vacation. Back at the shipyard, during a 19-month-long production period, all the building blocks are coming together, deck by deck. This is Legos for grown-ups. The center of gravity on this ship is on the 4th deck. But swimming pools and other venues on the 10th to 15th deck add a lot of weight high in the ship. This could pose a serious problem. You don't want the ship to be too top-heavy. The solution is to build all the top decks in aluminum. At this stage, some of the key features of Freedom of the Seas are lifted into place. Like the cantilevered whirlpool, which will hang out 4 meters from the ship's side, suspended 34 meters above the ocean. Again, the traverse crane operator takes center stage when large chunks of the ship are brought in place. At the bow, major elements are still missing, but they start to fly in like earthbound UFOs. and the propulsion units arrive at the dry dock. They are known as azipods and are the latest technology for ship propulsion. The unit consists of an electric engine and a propeller mounted on a steerable pod. The entire unit will be fixed to the ship's hull. Summer finally arrives at the dock in Finland, and so do thousands of staterooms and cabins. Since they are already complete, they only need to be rolled into place. Immediately, water, ventilation, and electricity are hooked up. It takes about 30 to 60 minutes to complete each stateroom. Now is also the time when the most secret part of Freedom of the Seas is lifted on board. Few in the shipyard know what it is, but it will be something no other cruise ship has ever had on board. So secret, it will be wrapped up on the aft deck for some time. There are many boats on the water around Turku in Finland, none as majestic or innovative as Freedom of the Seas. It is time to shed light on a new chapter in shipbuilding history. It's time for float out.
Here, water. I see water. Okay.
Thank you, appreciate it. Pleasure meeting you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good job. It's a big day. We're going into our natural element. Harry, congratulations.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. This is what she was built for. Water.
300 million liters of water needs to be flooded into the dry dock before the ship floats properly. It will take some 12 hours to complete. And finally, after 23 months of work, Freedom of the Seas is floating on her own keel. This is the largest cruise ship on any ocean in the world. At this point, only her underwater hull is completed. On the inside and on the outer decks, a lot of outfitting is still to be completed. She will remain at the yard in Finland for months.
It's amazing to be sitting here, I guess, 6-7 months before the ship will go into service and look at how it's all going to come together to envision that. And to think that here on the bridge, this is truly the heart of the ship. All the controls for the over 100,000 horsepower that the ship produces, the 57,000 horsepower of maneuvering from the 3 pods, all comes right here. And it's pretty amazing to stand here and to think that just a few months it's going to be a complete functioning ship.
Before this ship is completed, these workers will have put 5 million man-hours into the process. They bring their expertise from more than 20 countries, and they have yet to turn this empty hull into a luxury cruise liner. And the 3-story restaurant is shaping up. But the bridge is still a mess.
Wow, where we are now.
A lot of cabling left.
That's right.
5 weeks to go do sea trials. Are we going to make it?
Yes, I think so.
You sure?
I trust.
Iessa Mekkälä is Royal Caribbean site manager. He trusts the shipyard will deliver in time, but with the first sea trial only 5 weeks off, it is easy to despair.
You know, of all the new builds that I've been part of, I think the element of shipbuilding that's amazed me the most, despite the steelwork and the pipes, the engines, is the cabling, the wires that just go all over the ship, no matter where you go, from the galley to the cabins, and especially here on the bridge, cables, cables, cables. And to think that today, from today, 5 weeks from now, we're going to be going to sea for the first time during sea trials. And by that time, the yard has to make sure that all these wires get connected to the right place, that the systems work, and the ship is ready to go to sea. They claim they're going to make it, so we're just going to have to wait and see. But it's amazing.
Finland has experienced its longest and coldest winter in living memory. The ship is held in a firm grip, but it needs to find a way out to get the damaged roller bearing fixed. Backing into the dry dock in Turku is not an option. The place is already occupied by Freedom's sister ship under construction. Scouring the world for options, they finally find a dry dock big enough to accommodate the world's largest cruise ship in Hamburg, Germany. The inside of the ship and the outer decks are not completed, and the only option at this stage is to bring most of the workers on board to cruise to Germany and work around the clock. And there's still a few thousand feet of carpet to put in.
I've been here 2 months, working on the big communal areas, the restaurants, all the lobbies, lift lobbies, corridors, cabins. And today's my last day here. After 65 days, it's my last day.
But the ship's future crew must also sign on. The reception area can start working and welcome the 2,200 crew and workers that will be on board for the trip. Bill Wright signs on as well, but he will not yet be the captain of the ship. This is still a vessel under construction run by the shipyard.
It's early in the morning. We're T-minus, I think, 7.5 hours to departure. It's snowing, which I guess is par for the course, the way this winter has been going, but it's really exciting. It's amazing to see how the ship has really come together in the weeks since sea trials in December. Still some loose ends to tie up, but we have the sea trials down to Hamburg, and still a few more days before the 24th, and we take over, so exciting times.
He walks into the daily meeting where shipyard managers and representatives of the cruise line meet to plan the work needed to complete the ship for delivery.
Good morning. Hey, Harry.
Cleaning still ongoing as long as possible. Outer decks are...
At times, these meetings will be animated, but today, differences are laid aside. Everyone looks forward to the departure. In the tender room, First Officer Tanya Roberts prepares the crew for departure. It's time. Most of the crew members in the tender room are from the Philippines, and this is the first time they can test the equipment. They need to be careful. It's easy to get hurt here. It doesn't go as planned all the time. But it was just a minor hiccup this time.
Okay, go ahead.
First time.
First time.
Several thousand shipyard workers are left behind.
How do the yard workers feel? This has to be kind of an emotional event in some way.
Yes.
When you've... This has been
empty feeling when you come next morning. When you come.
Yeah, maybe.
We're obviously underway, so this is a big moment. This is the last time the ship will depart Turku, and we were just talking with some of the yard management, and it's a pretty emotional time for the yard workers that are standing on the dock, kind of waving goodbye. This has been the center of their lives for, I think, the last 27 months since they first started cutting steel. So to see the ship slowly go over the horizon is pretty emotional.
But Freedom of the Seas is built for warmer waters, not to be an icebreaker at northern latitudes. Her hull is not made for ice, and yet she forces her way through the ice floes. But two icebreakers are leading the way, making sure the ice is crushed and a safe path is created. The ship is still operated by the shipyard, and it is their captain, Ari Laaksonen, who is responsible for taking her out through the narrow passages in the Finnish archipelago.
Yes.
The shores are lined with people saying their final goodbye to Freedom of the Seas and her crew. She feels a bit crippled, towed as she is. The ship can't use her own propellers. They are too thin to cope with chunks of ice that can damage the blades. Still, her might reflects against the evening sky, dwarfing the islands she passes on her way into the Baltic Sea. Towed at 5 knots, it will take her 12 hours to reach open water. When morning dawns, Freedom of the Seas finds herself in thick fog. She's gone from one extreme to another, and visibility is almost zero.
Well, now it's absolute dense fog, so the only thing we have is the instruments. And of course, with these modern things, it's quite easy to navigate.
And people are kept busy.
All during the time during the sea trial, we are doing a lot of tests, system tests, and also going through remarks that have been given by the owners, and we have corrected and show that everything is all right. Very busy.
Well, what we're doing right now is we're actually doing a couple of things. We're using our stabilizers in a static mode to actually heel the ship. So we're heeling to port at approximately, right now, 2.6 degrees. We were up to 3.5 just a few seconds ago. The purpose of this is to test the functionality of the stabilizers, but right now the most important thing is that there are requirements that when the ship is heeled, that we have to make sure that all of our fire doors and these huge fire walls in the Royal Promenade are able to function and close properly, even though the ship is heeling. So we're keeping the ship in this position for a period of time while they're then going ahead and testing the fire doors.
The navigation tools on board are state-of-the-art, including providing the crew with a complete electronic chart solution and an autopilot system.
Working on the Sperry navigation, Doppler log sonar, and right now just taking a few measurements just to monitor its operations as we're going at various speeds throughout the water. So I'm actually just tapping off one of our lines to record data in real time.
The bridge officers are unaware that tilting the ship for a long time caused dirty water to flow backwards in the pipes, flooding crew cabins.
Yeah, that was during the test yesterday when they had the 3.5-degree incline for what we had 2 hours or something, and it looks like some people might have taken a shower at the same time as well.
Yeah, we're getting a shower in the room also.
Well, right now we do damage control, we clean up, we make sure that the rooms are not affected or that their living accommodation is not affected for too long. We come back in a day or two, see if we need to change the carpet and how the material underneath is, and just keep an eye on it. All right, quite a bit. That's a new ship, it's like a new house, we got to break it in.
In the engine room, Ivo Melki is searching for fire hazards. Using a thermographic camera, he finds electric cables and metal pipes that risk overheating. What the naked eye can't see, the heat-sensitive camera will reveal. The more red and yellow he sees, the higher the temperature of the pipe.
Okay, now you can see. This is the pipe, and this part of the pipe was isolated, and this pipe, they're missing isolation. This pipe was dangerous because here is also gasket. If they broken the pipe, the fuel will splash around, you know, especially if coming on the next engine, what is running on the turbine, then we will get the fire.
The engines are really large power stations, delivering electricity to the propeller engines and to the hotel operations on board. They are now running at full capacity. 15 tons of heavy fuel oil is burned every hour, and in the control room, every aspect of the operation is tested, checked, and rechecked. Per Berge from Norway is the cruise line's representative, and he makes sure he gets what they pay for.
We are buying the ship bit by bit. When they deliver what we want, then we sign.
Thousands of protocols and notes are signed, the shipyard inching nearer to the complete delivery of the ship. Freedom of the Seas is sailing at full speed in the Danish Straits, the crew preparing for a spectacular passage on their way to Hamburg, including a nerve-wracking passage under a bridge that is only slightly taller than the ship.
Well, we're inside of 5 minutes from passing under the Great Belt Bridge. And I think all of our preparations are pretty much in place. Of course, our big concern is the clearance that we'll actually have. And by using full speed when we pass under the bridge, we'll create an effect called squat. That's a hydrodynamic effect, which will, because of the relatively shallow water under the bridge, will actually pull the vessel down. I anticipate up to a meter. And that, combined with our ballasting, combined with the theoretical clearance of 5 feet, should result in a successful passage under the bridge.
The passing height is 65 meters, and we are doing 60, the captain told me 63.8, so we'll have plenty room for passing. 65 meters is guaranteed, so as long as we are below 65, we should be okay. We will be definitely fine. I hope so.
They can't believe we are here now. You know, I cannot believe also that we are here. We are seeing this, you know, live. I love it. I love it.
So at full speed, Freedom of the Seas takes aim at one of the longest bridges in the world. So far, so good, but are the smokestacks aft too high?
My friend, for the first time, this is exciting. Look at that, man. Can't believe, I thought we were going to touch the bridge, you know that?
It was an exciting moment, a breakaway from all the hard work to complete the ship. But there is still a lot of work to be done, and so few days to go. It is early morning when the ship glides up the Elbe River, approaching Hamburg. It's dawn, and still thousands of people line the river to get a first look at the world's largest cruise ship. And she doesn't disappoint anyone, as she almost fills the entire river. But to enter the dry dock, she must first make a complete turn, a maneuver mimicking the one the crew has practiced in the simulator in Florida. As she heads for the dry dock, it almost feels like an impossible feat to get in there.
Well, that's the great thing about AZIPODs. Even with a ship this large, we're able to turn her virtually on a dime in very confined waters. As you can see, both forward and stern, the clearing is down to just a few meters. But the AZIPODs give us tremendous control over the vessel, and so it's just another example of how remarkable the Freedom of the Seas really is.
It's a dry dock with a history, once built to house the battleship Bismarck during the Second World War. Freedom of the Seas squeezes herself into the dock with the smallest of margins. The German pilot is impressed.
Ship behaved like a car. It was wonderful. It was really amazing what happens here. And yeah, now we are safely docked, and everybody is happy at the moment.
The critical repair work on the propeller can't begin until all the water is pumped out of the dry dock. But other work on the ship can't wait. Freedom of the Seas must be painted, something they couldn't do before departure in the freezing cold of Finland. And the pool deck is also completed, which in the case of the new family-friendly water park means turning it on for the first time. But a computer controls the water spouting sculptures and the lights. And when Swedish architect Lars Ivdahl arrives, he finds the system malfunctioning.
I'm extremely worried because it has been delivery time in April in Finland, and with the winter we had, we tried to do some testing in Turku, but it was minus 17 degrees. It was very difficult to get the water floating because it was frozen to ice. So therefore, today, 48 hours before delivery, it's the first time we actually have water through the figures.
But the reason for going to Hamburg in the first place was to repair a faulty roller bearing. The propeller pod must be picked apart.
All right, here's the rope guard is removed first. Now we have to take off the propeller, then the extension shaft to be able to get the seals off, then the bearing housing shell removed to be able to get hold of the bearing to change it.
The German shipyard workers will have to come up with a solution for how to remove a propeller that weighs several tons without damaging other parts of the propeller pod. They can only look on in anticipation, and not without worries. The first part of the exercise takes a good 24 hours, but the propeller is finally jerked off the shaft. It will take another 24 hours before the workers can reach the damaged roller bearings inside the pod. To prevent further delays, the painters make use of the time to patch up the waterline that got damaged by the ice when leaving Finland. The damaged roller bearing has finally come out. At a glance, it looks okay. It takes a closer look using a fiber optic camera to see the problems. Ivo Maranik's trained eye spots the damage.
This is a little bit damaged surface, lot of scratches.
A new roller bearing is lifted into place, and this time, everyone makes sure it is protected from grinding dirt. Soon, the test team can confirm the successful operation.
The particle counting in the lubrication oil is perfect. And we are happy, and we don't expect any more damage.
And with pumps shooting out more than 2 cubic meters of water per second, the secret addition to the cruising fleet is finally revealed.
We got like 2.5 inches of water that are shooting up. It's getting a little bit thicker. At the end, that's what it is.
This is the Flow Rider.
The water's warm. The air's a little bit cold, but it's fun. We don't care. We're not worried that it's cold. We're having a good time.
These guys are so good at teaching us that we're picking it up
really quickly?
Well, they're just beginning. I think they're doing really well. And in a few more sessions, they'll be going back and forth. It'll be no problem.
But for the time being, we leave it to the pros. It has taken 2 years and 7 months, but now they are finally there.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, it's a great moment. I mean, we're actually deck cadets on board, and to be able to actually see the handover and be up on bridge is just hilarious.
Until this moment, Bill Wright has been a guest on board a ship run by the shipyard. But today, he has dressed up in his captain's uniform to assume his responsibilities. It's a signature worth $800 million, the price of the world's largest cruise ship.
To the freedom of the seas.
True to protocol, when the others can toast in champagne, Bill Wright, now on duty as the captain of the ship, is stuck with orange lemonade. And as captain, he gives his first order.
Thomas. It's official. She's ours. She's mine. And that's a remarkable feeling.
So the day has finally come when Bill Wright can step into the role as captain of Freedom of the Seas. First destination, Oslo, Norway, and then a transatlantic crossing.
This is it's going to be actually pretty emotional for me, having lived in Norway for almost 25 years, and we're going to be passing within a couple hundred meters of actually my house where I used to live. So it's going to be a great day. It's a humbling experience. Just to be selected for being captain of the Freedom of the Seas is the greatest honor of my life. That's for sure. Okay, well again, welcome on board. Pleasure to have you here. Good to be coming to Oslo for our first official port of call.
He will be in charge of almost 1,400 crew members from 64 countries. This is truly the United Nations of the sea. They immediately settle into what will become a daily routine, taking the ship from harbor to harbor, exposing its grandeur to thousands of guests. There are the suites, and for the ship designer Kelly Gonzalez, dreams have become reality.
There's never a wrong idea. It's dreams going wild.
Like the amazing Royal Promenade with stores and restaurants. For Kelly Gonzalez, the Flow Rider is here, she is christened Freedom of the Seas, and she is the ultimate